peace, purpose. Let's learn from AMBAP Dr. Nuhu Solomon Anyegwu. Thank you for joining this movement, building peace one community at a time.
Principles of conflict management, a panacea to sustainable peace, tranquility, and socio-economic development in our contemporary society. It is a universal phenomenon spanning through interpersonal, ethnic, religious, political, and international affairs. What that means is that when we talk about conflict, it is a word, a phenomenon that is known everywhere. Hello? Okay, thank you very much. While conflict is inevitable, violence and destructions are avoidable through proper conflict management mechanisms. And that is why we are discussing this very afternoon. It therefore means that once conflicts are managed early, destruction and violence will be avoided. Modern conflicts stem from socio-economic inequality, political exclusion, religious intolerance, and resource competition. Conflict management is indispensable for peaceful coexistence, social harmony, and economic progress. There are definitions in this very topic. We have conflict, a situation where individuals, groups, or nations perceive incompatibility in goals, in values, or expectations. This is according to Koza in 1956. Simply put, conflict is a disagreement. When there is a disagreement, when there is a state of uneasiness, when peace is lacking, either in an individual or within a group of people, then we have sustainable peace. Stability, justice, security, and harmonious coexistence beyond mere absence of violence is what we call sustainable peace. Conflict management, that is, controlling, regulating, and transforming conflict through peaceful means to prevent escalation. This is according to Burton in 1990. Then socio-economic development. Improve quality of life through economic productivity, poverty reduction, education, healthcare, and infrastructure. That is socio-economic development. So when conflicts are properly managed, the end result is socio-economic development. Now, it is important, therefore, for us to look at the causes of conflicts in our contemporary society before we even talk about principles of managing them. Number one cause, poverty and economic inequality. Unequal resource distribution breeds frustration and resentment. School exclusion, differences. We have witnessed different religious and ethnic crises, even in this nation, Nigeria. So, intolerance and fanaticism generate mistrust and violence among people. Then competition for scarce resources, resources like land, water, even economic trees. All of these, when they are not enough for the people scrambling to have ownership over these can lead to conflicts. And we have seen, just like we have witnessed in different places, in different parts of the nation and different parts of the world, where conflicts arise, troubles arise, fights erupt, wars erupt as a result of claiming ownership over land, over resource, petroleum, and etc. Injustice is another cause of conflict. Injustice and rights violation. Perceived oppression provokes resistance and violence. Poor governance, corruption, and weak institutions drive social unrest. When people are going on around the region, that can actually trigger off conflicts. Then communication breakdown, when there's a gap in communication. Misunderstanding escalate minor disturbances into crisis. So These, among others, are some of the causes of conflicts, some of the causes of problems, wars, disagreement between individuals, between groups, nations, and the world at large. Hello? I'm just checking on my audience. Are we hearing me?
Yes, we are.
Hello?
We can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you. We are with you. We can hear you very well.
We can hear you, Conrem. Yes, please go ahead.
Thank you very much. Then let me move quickly to the principle. Let me move quickly to the principles of conflict management. What this means is this: when we talk about principles, we are talking about underlying rules. What helps in managing conflict. Principles of conflict management. We have dialogue and communication. Where there is conflict between persons within a community, within an organization, together, the persons that are involved in the conflict should be brought together, and we communicate, we dialogue, we try to negotiate, we try to find out what therefore is the issue, and through that communication, conflicts may be resolved, and that will not eventually lead to problems like violence and destruction. Then number two, we have justice and fairness. It is the principles of conflict management. When we institute fairness, when we bring in justice in the management of problems, that is, truths are told. What therefore means is that we allow fairness to take play its role. In this sense, what is brought on board when we are trying to manage crisis? So there should be justice, there should be fairness. Where people have gone wrong, where people have done what is wrong, you tell it to the persons involved, and then where right steps are to be taken, we tell them this is the right step to be taken. So you ensure justice and fairness in the management of conflict. Then mutual respect and tolerance. And when we talk about mutual respect and tolerance, we're talking about inability to be able to cope with other people's differences. No matter what is the difference in value, difference in religion, difference in belief, you respect other people's values. And by that, you'll be able to win them to your side. Then there should be participation and inclusiveness. Now, when people are left to themselves, when people are not carried along, conflicts tend to thrive. But when you involve them in decision-making process, in planning, in resolving matters, you bring them together, and then you allow them to say their own view, their own side of the story. That is participation. By that, conflicts are resolved, conflicts are managed. Then mediation and negotiation. What this means is that in any conflict, a third party, an independent individual, is allowed to play a role, particularly individuals that are of a higher authority, individuals with a higher experience, individuals with that can actually speak to dissolve sentences, to dissolve arguments. They are allowed to play a role, and by that, conflicts will be managed and resolved. So that is the principle of mediation and negotiation. Then the principle of reconciliation and forgiveness. There is this saying that to err is human and to forgive is divine, even from the Holy Writ. Any individual that wants to prosper before God Almighty must have developed the ability to forgive his or her neighbors. And that is a basic law of life. And so, if you want conflicts to be resolved, the persons that are involved therein who are offended should develop the spirit of forgiveness, and they should give room for reconciliation, bringing people together again after a short-term enmity. And that is what we call reconciliation and forgiveness. Then the rule of law. Yes, the rule of law here means that the existing rules of the game, existing conditions, existing principles that guide operations in such organizations, existing policies, existing rules should be applied, and it will be applied with all fairness, without bias, without corruption, without injustice. In that case, conflicts can easily be managed. We are applying the principle of rule of law. Then the principle of early warning and prevention. Early warning. It therefore means that when conflicts is erupting, it should be managed very early. It should be managed early. We shouldn't allow it to thrive until violence erupts. We shouldn't allow it to thrive and expand until every member of the community, every member of the organization is involved. When the conflict is coming up between individuals, maybe it is identified between individuals, then you quickly mediate, like we have mentioned before. You bring in a third party, you bring in somebody with higher experience, higher authority, higher respect to mediate, and then the conflicts will be easily managed. That is the principles of early warning. That is, it enables proactive intervention before violence erupts. Then effective leadership, integrity, transparency, and accountability drive resolution. A leader must be a leader who is transparent, who is very honest, who is accountable, and then he will use this principle in actually resolving conflicts in the midst of people in the group or in the community. Then the principle of peace education. Like I have said it even in several times in my own public education online, in my profession, environmental health. I have stated before, and I want to rehearse it here, that ignorance is a key factor in the cycle of disease causation. Many people behave the way they behave because of ignorance. Many people behave the way they behave because they lack the application of the principles of peace. They lack the knowledge of the principles of conflict of this group, the peace advocates, so that they will be able to arm themselves with information on how to carry out this education, because that becomes one of the key factors that we can use in resolving conflict. Knowledge education. Now, as we engage daily or from time to time in resolving conflicts, there are some known strategies that we can apply in managing conflicts, and that takes us to conflict management strategies. Strategy number one is negotiation. Parties voluntarily discuss differences to reach mutual solutions. When conflicts are just left without negotiation, it might eventually escalate. It might lead to violence. It might lead to destruction. So when conflicts are rearing up its ugly heads, people should quickly intervene and bring people together to the table for resolution, for negotiation, for discussion, so that the problem can easily be resolved. Then we have the strategy of mediation. When we talk about mediation, we're talking about let's say in between persons, in between groups, in between communities, in between individuals. When a third party, when somebody come in between to find out, to hear parties that are involved in the conflict with a view to providing solutions that will resolve the conflict, that is a form of mediation. A neutral third party assists in resolving dispute. So it's one of the strategies. So in conflict resolution and conflict management, another strategy we can adopt in resolving or managing conflict is arbitration. An independent body makes binding decisions. In this case, rules are made when conflicts are resolved. Maybe, for example, there's a conflict over ownership of land between persons. I have said in mediation we use a higher power. we use a higher body. An individual with a higher authority, an individual that is highly respected. So when the matters are being resolved, then rules are made, laws are made, and the parties that are involved are now bound to adhere strictly to the guidelines and the decisions that are made. That is arbitration. It's a strategy that is being adopted in conflict management. Then reconciliation. That word is reconciliation. Efforts to restore relationship and reduce hostility. You will speak words. You will bring in proverbs. You will bring in statements that will help. Bringing down fires in the minds of the people. That the people who hitherto were unfriendly, people who hitherto cannot stay together, who cannot listen to each other, who cannot relate cordially together. Now, when you have adopted all the strategies that and you have adopted all the principles that in solving this problem, at the end of the day, you make them to become friends. That is reconciliation. Strategy called reconciliation. Then collaboration. Parties work together to satisfy common interests. What this therefore means is that you have brought in parties, you have brought in different individuals, you have brought in different groups, you have brought in different individuals who are interested in resolving the matter. So you collaborate, you come together and you resolve the problem together. It's a strategy, it's one of the strategies. Then strategy of compromise. Strategy of compromise. Each side makes concessions to reach agreement. Now, when we talk about compromise, it is like that. And when two parties are striving over ownership of land, striving over a matter, over political exclusion, over one type of crisis or the other or disagreement, and it is wise for one to compromise. Compromise in the sense that you will be able to give up over certain things so that you can come together. Even in the Holy Scripture, Jesus was talking about that when an enemy is dragging you into the court, it is very, very expedient for you that you quickly agree with him while on the way. He said, else he take you to the judge, and the judge will get you arrested and you pay the last penny. He's talking about principles of compromise there. What that means is that in conflict management, we should give room for compromise. At least the parties should be able to give up on some of the facts they are holding on to so that peace can be resolved. Then the strategy of peace building. Long-term measures addressing structural causes of conflict. That is why we, the peace advocates, it is very necessary at this time for us to undergo this training, such that as we go back home, we develop strategies, we develop principles, we develop means and measures that we can use to intervene, that we can use in managing crises when it's coming up in families, when it's coming up in organizations, when it's coming up between communities, when it's coming up within nations, so that we'll be able to bear the name truly, the peace advocates that we are. Conflict management as a panacea to sustainable development. What this therefore means is that if conflicts are resolved and managed, what therefore is the end result? The end result is that peace will be attained. It promotes social cohesion. There's reduction in violence. At this point, there's sustainable peace. It helps in strengthening democratic institutions. It encourages national integration and enhances security. So at this point, everything in an organization, everything in a community, everything in a nation, everything in the globe is peaceful. Peace has been attained at this time, and that is a sustainable peace. And when that happens, it is discovered that things come to normalcy. Again, what therefore are some of the benefits we tend to derive when conflicts are managed, leading to peace and socio-economic development. Now, those benefits are categorized into the following. One, we have economic benefits. When conflicts are rightfully managed, when conflicts are managed early, when conflicts are resolved and peace is restored, the following therefore becomes the benefit. One, the economic benefit. There will be increased investment. If conflicts are resolved and the environment is peaceful, there will be socio-economic development. And the end result is that there will be increased investment. People will be interested to come and establish industries. They'll be interested in establishing schools. They'll be interested in establishing industries where products are manufactured, and that will lead to expansion of businesses. There will be employment creation. Imagine if, for example, as an educationist, I decided to establish a university, or I establish a renowned college of health sciences and management technology. Remember, I'll be employing lecturers. I'll be employing different professionals. The investment that has come in as a result of peace that is restored, now leading to expansion of business, leading to employment creation, then there will be improved productivity and poverty will be reduced. Then social benefits. We have quality education. Yes, when peace is restored and then the environment is peaceful, and then these different social amenities are provided and social services are provided in the community, there will be quality education. There will be accessible healthcare. Again, there will be improved infrastructure. Yes, when the environment is peaceful, we begin to construct roads, we begin to establish hospitals, we begin to establish dams in different parts of the community, we begin to bring in electricity, water supply. These are different aspects of infrastructure that will come in because the environment is settled. Now, if the environment is not settled, how then do you think infrastructures can be built? We hear stories of even foreigners, engineers that were brought to this country, Nigeria, to help us in the rehabilitation, construction of roads, infrastructure, who were kidnapped. By and large, many of them do not want to come to the country, Nigeria, and that is a problem. But when the environment is peaceful, that will lead to improved infrastructure because many infrastructures will be provided. There will be social welfare enhancement. Yes, social welfare enhancement. Services will now be available to the people. People can go to places where they will be hard when there is a problem because there will be improved judiciary system. There will be improved healthcare system. There will be improved educational system. So people will now be accessible to social welfare services. Then human capital development. Yes, human capital development. People will now be trained, and as we train them, they grow in experiences and so on and so forth. Then there will be political benefits that will be met. What therefore will be the political benefits that will be now in Nigeria and different parts or different countries of the world, because of lack of peace. Now, a typical example is this. I was saying that once conflicts are resolved, leading to socio-economic development, there are so many benefits that we tend to derive. Part of the benefits is the political benefits. Now, what happens is that there will be democratic stability. I was trying to give a typical example, like we are having elections coming forth in the year 2027. If there is no peace, when thugs will be carrying machetes, they'll be carrying guns, they'll be carrying sticks, people will not come out. And so there will be no normal political system taking place at all. And there is this very assertion that was made by one of our northern politicians in his blessed memory, the person of Maitama Sule. And he said something, and I quote. Maitama Sule said that, he said, "My dream for this nation, Nigeria, before it returned to the culture of extravagance, the culture is a return to decency in our polity, a return to godliness in our relationship, a return to consideration in our social interaction." So what Maitama Sule was saying is correct. A return to decency in our polity and a return to godliness in our relationship. And when he was talking about relationship, remember there are two existing relationships. There's what we call vertical relationship, the relationship that exists between man and God. When such relationship exists, there's fear of God. And the fear of God will make our leaders to do well. The fear of God will make the followers to behave well, to obey rules and regulations, policies, the constitutions of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The fear of God will make things to go on well. People will be rejoicing because there will be peace, there will be progress and prosperity. And that is what is eluding us as a nation. And the end result is national unity. You won't be hearing of this one want to break away, this one want to form his own republic, this one want to do this one. You're hearing of Oduduwa Republic, you're hearing of the Biafra Republic and all that. There will be nothing like that. When somebody that is there is doing well, there's even distribution of resources in the community. There's even distribution of resources in all the geopolitical zones. People will not be saying it should be my own person that will be there. Nothing like that. At the end of the day, there'll be national cohesion, there'll be national unity. Then, what therefore are the challenges to effective conflict management? So when we talk about conflicts, there are some of the challenges that are effective, that do not allow conflict resolution, conflict management to become effective. Many a times, what are these challenges? One, corruption in our various social institutions, in the courts, corruption, in schools, corruption, and even in our health institutions, corruption. So that becomes a bane to effective conflict management. If you want to talk about this, for those of us who are managers of organizations, we understand this very well. Now, a student misbehaves in a school setting, and you want to discipline the student. Before you know it, a call is coming from presidency. A call is coming from the government house that that person have interest in that candidate. Please, can you just help him? Let him not be punished. At the end of the day, lessons are not learned. Why? Because there is already a political interference, not allowing equity, not allowing fairness, and justice to take place. Then another challenge that affects effective conflict management is ethics, ethnic and religious intolerance. When people are tribalistic, there's a lot of tribalistic tendencies. When you want to manage conflict, you begin to think of the other person. The person you'll be supporting is because it's from your tribe or it's from your community. The person you will throw support behind is because the person is of your religion, is a Christian or is a Muslim. No. When that happens, there will be no fairness, there will be no justice. And remember, with some of the principles, we talk about principle of justice and fairness. There will be no fairness anymore. And when there is no fairness in the way you want to manage conflict, the conflict managed. So, one of the things that affects the effective management of conflict is ethnic and religious intolerance. Then, poverty and unemployment. Poverty and unemployment is part of the things that affects conflicts management. Then lack of trust among stakeholders. When people don't believe in themselves, when people do not bring on board honesty, then it will be difficult to manage the conflict. Then we have inadequate peace education. That is why, again, I want to use this medium to thank the international president and his team for organizing this kind of training. And this training should be sustained, because there is no other way we can be good peace advocates, we can be good peace managers if we are not properly informed. And so, if we are not having adequate peace education, okay, what do we mean by this? If there is a conflict, if you don't even know how to initiate it, if you don't even know how to resolve it, if you don't know who are the right persons to be brought together for mediation, for negotiation, for communication and discussion, there is no way you can resolve conflict. So a peace advocate, a manager of conflicts must be properly armed with peace education. And so when there's inadequate peace education, it becomes very, very difficult for you to manage conflicts. Am I with my audience?
Yes, sir. Even though you're wrapping up, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hey.
Sure.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Sure, Your Excellency. Your Excellency. We're with you.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm ready because I'm coming to a recommendation. Then the problem of collaboration, misinformation, hate speech, leadership failure, All of these contribute to yeah. Hello?
Hi.
Hello?
Please
Hello?
Please go ahead.
Yeah. On the final note, what I'm recommending. Yes. Promotion of inclusive governance and equitable distribution of resources. There is no need for me to explain this again. I've already said that. When resources are equally distributed, it becomes very, very. And in short, there will be peace, there will be socio-economic development. Because, take for example, when you bring in, you want to build road, we have 6 geopolitical zones in this nation, for example. You build equal number of roads in the north central, northeast, northwestern, southwest, southeast, south, then there will be no problem. So there should be promotion of inclusive governance through equitable distribution of resources. Then integrate peace education into school curricula at all levels, primary, secondary, and tertiary education system. We should include
We lost him.
Yes, and just at the concluding part.
Yes.
when people are informed like food, nobody will be able to enlist them. As of today, you cannot enlist me to be part of talks that will go and destroy anything, because I will ask you some sensitive questions that you won't be able to, agree with me. Then we should involve traditional institutions and religious leaders in peace building. Religious leaders should be involved in peace building processes, and then we'll be able to bring about peace in our community. Then strengthen youth empowerment to reduce unemployment and unrest. Institutionalize dialogue and mediation mechanisms. Strengthen judicial institutions and uphold the rule of law. Intensify civil society awareness campaign on peaceful coexistence. Promote responsible journalism. Encourage hate speech, secure support from international development partners, encourage ethical and visionary leadership at all levels. In conclusion, conflict is natural, like we have said before. As a matter of fact, it's inevitable. We cannot dodge it, but management become indispensable. But its destructive consequences can be minimized through dialogue, justice, inclusiveness, tolerance, reconciliation, and good governance. Sustainable peace is a prerequisite for socio-economic development, and development in turn reinforces peace by addressing the root causes of conflict. Thank you very, very much for listening. God bless your excellencies.
Oh my God! Wow!
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
That was wonderful.
That was powerful.
Thank you very much.
Excellency, you have done excellently well.
Amazing. Powerful.
That's good.
So educative. So inspiring. I wish we all can inculcate this in our daily lives, in our community. Trust me, the world will be a better place. We appreciate you, sir. God bless you. Thank you so much. It's as if the time was not enough for you. We are like compressing it, but it's more detailed.